Wednesday. Welcome back to another vlog. I'm trying to reapply my lip gloss, so hold on. I just got out of the doctor's office. Had a wee bit of a health scare this weekend and just wanted to make sure I was okay. But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to vlog over the next few days. Some cozy fall days in my life. I think that tomorrow and Thursday, the weather's going to be so nice and like actually very fall-esque. So I'm looking forward to taking advantage of that. I'm doing the usual working from home as a content creator who is job hunting as well, and on the tail end with some interview processes right now. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe if you're already and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload, and follow me on social media, link down below. But anyway, now that little intro is out of the way, I can get straight into the chaos. Saturday night, Griff and I went and got dinner and some drinks with friends, and we got home, and earlier in the day I had been noticing just like some pressure and pain in my chest. Didn't really think anything of it, but then when I was laying down at night to go to bed, I realized how intense it was. And then my left elbow down started getting really like pins and needles feelings, and I know like the main two signs of a heart attack are chest pain and numbness in your left arm. And since it was in my left elbow and hand, I started freaking out quite a bit. Griffin had already like fallen asleep, and I was just laying there in bed and I was absolutely going nuts when the way I was feeling hit me. It wasn't that the pain was so unbearable, it was the fact of knowing what the pain could mean, aka my anxiety getting the best of me. And I had a full-blown panic attack, which I've not had one like that before, like to that level. My whole entire body was like cold sweating, trembling. I could not stop shaking. I was having trouble speaking because I was shaking so bad. Like I couldn't get a full sentence out. I thought I needed to go to the emergency room, but Griffin was like, "Is your pain that bad?" And I was like, "No, the pain's not that bad," because I didn't want to like freak him out either. It's more so the awareness of what this pain could mean. It helped me calm down though, and once I was done having the panic attack, I realized like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. Went to sleep even though I was terrified to go to sleep. And then Sunday during the day I was fine. I had told myself like if I feel that something is off and I need to go to like the ER or an urgent care, I will. But I felt mostly fine on Sunday. I didn't work out because I was just like kind of worried about that. And then Sunday night, the exact same thing happened where I was getting the pins and needles feeling in my hand and in my face kind of even, and was really just freaking out. Still had the chest pain, but I wasn't having any difficulty breathing, like at all. No difficulty breathing. It was just a tight feeling in my chest. I'm not particularly stressed right now, at least I don't think I am. Like I've been way more stressed in my life before than I have been about like my interviews and stuff. Like I'm not that worked up over them, so I didn't think it was anything to do with stress. I didn't think it was anything muscle related, just because I was thinking back to the last few workouts I did at F45 during the week, and I didn't do anything that could have really strained my chest because I did cardio on Friday and lower body on Thursday and didn't work out on Wednesday. So that happened again Sunday, and then yesterday morning I tried to come to go to the doctor, but they ran out of walk-in appointments at this primary care place, so I ended up just having my appointment today. They ran an EKG though, and she listened to my heart and they looked at everything from the EKG and everything looks good, so I have the assurance that my heart is okay, which is what I needed, because I think that's what was causing me to freak out, was thinking that something was wrong with my heart and I wasn't doing anything about it. Even though I like knew deep down that I was probably fine, it was just the what if that was freaking me out. Y'all are probably wondering what the heck's going on with me, because I feel like I've been very open and told y'all a lot about like some very high anxiety situations I've had lately, and I'm also wondering what's wrong with me. So I don't know. I just think my anxiety this year, for some reason in general, it hasn't been as situational, it's been just kind of like across the board. I definitely feel a lot better though knowing that nothing's wrong with my heart, because that was like my fear. We're thinking it was just muscle related probably, and the pain has subsided. Yesterday evening I noticed it had kind of let up a bit, and then today it feels even better. But I have some Amazon returns I need to drop off at Whole Foods and pick up something at Whole Foods, and I might run into my favorite bookstore because it's on the way home, but I really don't need or want to spend money on books. I just want to go in for the vibes, but I don't know if we will yet. We'll see. Back home, I did end up getting a book. My logic was that I was dropping off Amazon returns from like things I randomly bought on Prime Day. Ended up hating them and returning them. So I was like, girl math. Did I actually buy a book today? No, because I got that money back from the Amazon returns. So yes, I did spend money on a book, but I feel like I didn't. This is the Book of Doors, and this was actually one of the books I was considering doing for book club when I hosted this past month. I ended up not doing it, which I kind of regret because it is very highly rated and so beautiful. Like literally, look at this. Look at the inside of this book. It's like literally the Book of Doors, and the pages are this sort of deckled edge, I think is what it's called. Oh my gosh, it just takes me back to reading The Tale of Despereaux when I was little. Anyways, this is a debut novel full of magic, adventure, and romance. It opens up a thrilling world of contemporary fantasy. It's about a girl who works in a New York City bookstore we love, and one of her regular customers who she loves dies sitting at his usual table in the store, but he left a book for her when he died, and it is the Book of Doors, which has great power and is one of the most coveted by those who collect them. And then she's getting hunted by people who know about these special books. So it sounds like a lot of things that I love just thrown into one book. I was gonna get Normal People by Sally Rooney. They did have Intermezzo, but I really want to read Sally Rooney's books in publishing order. I don't really know why. I haven't read any of her books, but after I read Talking at Night though, I had a lot of people recommend Normal People and say that it was super similar, so I want to read it. Intermezzo was like beautiful in person, and then I also almost got the new paperback Fourth Wing because I haven't read Fourth Wing yet. This wasn't on my fall TBR that I shared, but I definitely meant to put it on my fall TBR because I was really just looking for like one book off of my fall TBR to get in there today. And I went to Blue Willow. If you're in Houston, it's like one of my favorite bookshops. Ran in Whole Foods and did my returns. I got the gingerbread Myers soap. This is probably my favorite scented one that they've ever done. H-E-B was out of the crisp apple olipopps this week, but I just grabbed 2 because I didn't really have any hands to carry more than that. And then I got some shrimp spring rolls to eat right now because it's 1:30 and I'm very hungry. Set myself up for failure going into Whole Foods hungry. Then I got some sliced American cheese. Because tomorrow night I have to film something for a wine brand deal, but Griff and I are gonna make it into like a cozy at-home fall movie night, show night. I don't really know what we're gonna watch yet. I'm gonna make a soup, which I already have plans, and then I think we're gonna do grilled cheeses because I haven't had a grilled cheese in so long, and put like apple slices on them because I think that'll be so good for fall. And then I also got the Sweet Loren's pumpkin spice cookie dough. I actually genuinely really love the regular chocolate chip. I've seen so many people post on Instagram, like influencers, that they don't like it and that it's gross, but I genuinely think they're great. So looking forward to trying the pumpkin spice. Yeah, I was one of the people who like really struggled in the first book because I was just, wait, I don't really know where this is going. But then like once I realized where it was going, I really enjoyed it. So. Target Circle Week was last week, and I went through my closet kind of like over the last few weeks, and I've been cleaning it out, posting things on Poshmark, and identifying gaps in my closet of things that I don't have that I think will help complete my wardrobe for fall and winter, especially with everything I've been talking about in regards to just like my body image and not feeling comfortable in my own clothing. And I also had like a $5 rebate gift card thing from a purchase I had done at Target before, and a $15 rewards. I don't really know how I got it, but I had it on my account. So I got 2 pairs of boots and 2 sweaters for $70 and more of my raw sugar apple cider vinegar hair rinse. So that's a crazy good deal if you ask me for that much. So what I got, I have no brown boots, and that was like a hole in my closet. So I got these, and they're supposedly memory foam inserts on the inside, and I don't have any tall boots either like this. So it's kind of like kills 2 birds with 1 stone. I think having a nice deeper chocolate pair of boots would be nice as well. But for now, these will be a great addition and really help me when I'm getting dressed and need like a brown boot, and a black or a cream doesn't work. They're like a nice suede material and they feel really great. And another big item for me was cardigans, mainly ones that are full length, because I have not been a fan of crop clothes at all. So I got these from Target. So they have a lot of different colors. I got this red one, and I also got this black one. I can't speak to the quality of these in regard to their like long-term quality since I obviously just got them, but they are so flipping soft and they're the perfect length. I got smalls in them. And then one more pair of boots. I got these black kitten heel booties. It'll be really pretty with jeans. These are $35 regular price, but I don't have any boots that have like this finish of black faux leather. I have the patent leather ones that are like really shiny, if you know what I mean. That doesn't always go with what I'm wearing. It's nice to have more of like the matte finish. Very happy about these two. I'll leave all these linked down below, but also just a reminder that you don't need any of it, and to just check your closet before you buy things so you don't just like buy things to fill the space in your closet and end up never wearing them. And also to check secondhand. I've actually been really into Depop lately, and I'm trying to always check there first before I buy things Granted, it does end up being kind of more expensive than buying at places like Target or Old Navy sometimes, which is a little frustrating, especially with it being secondhand and sometimes the quality is a toss-up. I bought a gray cardigan off of Depop and I bought a denim dress. The denim dress I'm gonna wear to the Texas Georgia game this weekend that we're going to. I got my denim dress off of there instead of like buying a new one from Zara or something, and it's perfect. And then I bought a cream cardigan and a gray cardigan off of Depop. The gray one, the quality is great of the sweater itself, but it's a lot more worn than what the seller sort of alluded to. So like the sleeves are very worn and like kind of discolored, which I don't love. But overall, just your reminder to check Depop. Like I go there more than I go on actual apps to shop now. Griffin on the cilantro cream sauce wearing my shirt. It's so good in this recipe, which I'll have a recipe link down below. We've made it like 2 weeks ago. I am starting to get ready for the day and I wanted to share some new skincare that I have just been absolutely loving for about the last month. It's all from Typology, and I don't know if y'all can tell, but my skin has just been skinning lately, to be honest. I've worked with them before and I love this brand because they are vegan and cruelty free, and their main goal is to really just only keep the essential ingredients in their products. And their products are made with over 80% ingredients of origin, and their products are formulated and manufactured in France. So I took their diagnostic. So the products I have are what were recommended for me to use after taking the diagnostic. And starting off with this A32 plumping serum. It has 3% polyglutamic acid. It's really great for just smoothing and plumping the appearance of any fine lines in the skin from dehydration. And as I've gotten older, I've definitely noticed the fine lines that kind of appear from the dehydration on my forehead. So this just really helps everything feel a lot more supple and hydrated. And then I like to follow up with the A31 serum, which is 3% hyaluronic acid and 2% B5. And this also just really helps with my dry skin concerns so that I can have some lasting hydration throughout the day. My skin just feels and looks so much more hydrated with this combo. And then I've been finishing off with this 9-ingredient face moisturizer. It's super lightweight, it's not greasy, and there's no fragrance in it, which I really love. And it's non-comedogenic and dermatologist tested and suitable for all skin types. And I also wanted to give a quick shout out to their tinted serums. If you love a good natural skin tint, this is what I'm wearing on the first day of this vlog, and it is just the most natural, gorgeous skin-like finish with a beautiful light coverage. I'm gonna put it on half my face so y'all can compare sort of the difference. Blends out super nicely and just has a really pretty amount of coverage. Here's the side with the skin tint and then the side without. I just feel like it really evens out my skin tone and brings a lot of life to it in a natural way. The European Union bans over 1,300 ingredients and cosmetics, and the ban list in the United States is only 11 ingredients. I really feel good using Typology's products for that reason, and my skin feels good and looks even better. And I do have an exclusive offer for you all. If you click the link in the description box, you can receive a free plumping serum with 3% polyglutamic acid and red seaweed extract with your purchase of $40 or more at the Typology website. That's only valid for 1 week. I'm a big believer in keeping things simple with skincare, and Typology does just that while taking care of my skin. If you're wanting to do the same thing with your skincare, definitely take the diagnostic quiz and see which products will work best for you and your skin type and the environment you live in. And you can do so by clicking the link in my description and get that perfectly curated routine just for you. Thank you so much to Typology for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I'm so excited because I just ordered my 2025 doodle planner. I was texting Jenna about this last week, which Jenna is who put me onto these, and we were trying to figure out like which one we wanted to get. I ended up going with this vintage wash one. Literally, they're all so good this year. I was really torn between this Academy plaid. If I was in college, I feel like I would get this one because it's just like academia at its core. I really like having a textured one. So I had the fuzzy teddy kind of one this year, this right here, and I love it. So I think like definitely try this one out if you haven't yet, or if you're just trying it out for the first time. It's also just like super durable. But I was obsessed with the cherry wine color, but since it's just like leather, I was like, I think it's gonna get scratched and ruined more easily. So I ended up getting the vintage wash, which will definitely stain and stuff, but I don't really take it anywhere, so it will be fine. But I'm super excited for it to come in, and hopefully by the time this video goes up, they're still in stock. I just posted about them on my Instagram story too. And shout out to my friend Jenna Hong here on YouTube for putting me onto these, because it's like truly just helped me slow down in so many ways. Having something to like color and just doing it at the beginning of the week, setting up my weekly spread, and my habit and mood tracker every month. I just absolutely love it. It's helped me slow down so much this year, but still be productive at the same time. I've noticed that habits that I was putting on my habit tracker in the beginning of the year, I don't even really need to put on my habit tracker anymore because I just do them daily. And that's kind of the whole point. I'm super excited. And I told Jenna, like, even if I'm like working a corporate job next year and I don't have as much time to like fully go in detail like with my weekly spreads and color these every week, I can at the very least use this as a habit and mood tracker every month and just at least sit down once a month and let myself color this, because it really doesn't take that long and it is just so therapeutic. We've been watching Nobody Wants Us and we have 2 episodes left, this episode and the next one. Definitely don't want to make eating over here in front of the TV a habit, but we've been enjoying it while watching the show. But the show is so good, so if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It's the first cold day here in Houston and I'm just so excited. And when I say cold, it's 63 degrees right now on the high 75. It's gonna get down to like 52 tonight. So it's just the best feeling. I've been taking Ella on long walks every morning and listening to my audiobook that I've been listening to, which if you have Spotify Premium, you get 15 hours a month of listening to audiobooks on Spotify. However, Griffin and I have the duo plan where we like basically just have like a lower monthly subscription payment because we share a plan since we're like in the same household. I think it's called a duo plan, but whoever the plan manager is on those is who gets the audiobook hours, and Griffin's the plan manager. And we'll probably end up switching me to it, but we haven't. And I used to have Audible in college. I think I paid for it. I don't really remember. Audible's credits like roll over every month, I think. And when I just like logged into the Audible account for the first time in forever, I saw that there were 11 credits. I want to give an update on just like what I've been reading lately, because I feel like it's been a long time since I've like sat down and updated y'all on my reading, but that's partially because I've been reading the same book for a while. So I started listening to Ready or Not, which is just like a romance. The cover of it is so pretty. It's really cute. It's just like a feel-good story, and it's been making me walk so much more. Like Ella and I have been probably doing close to like 2 miles at least a day, I would say, just because I'm enjoying the vibe of listening to an audiobook and walking. I have to shout out Lottie Smalley here on YouTube. She's like literally one of my favorite people to watch, but she really encouraged me to get into audiobooks, and I've been listening to them while like prepping dinner and stuff too until Griffin gets home, so it's been great. And then I finished Queen of Shadows, which I finished this on Saturday morning, and I was reading like the last bit of it in between plays and on commercial breaks during the Alabama and South Carolina game, which was really nerve-wracking. So much was happening in the end of this book, and then also so much was happening in the game. My heart rate was like so high, I felt like, because I was just like, so much is going on. I have so much to say, but like I'm not going to say a lot of it because I don't want to give away spoilers. But this is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series, and I believe next up I have the tandem read, if I'm remembering correctly. So much came together in this book because Heir of Fire, which I finished back in March, so I took a long hiatus, and if you can, I recommend not doing that because then you just forget like minute details. I watched a TikTok and like YouTube video that recapped Heir of Fire before going in the Queen of Shadows just to like refresh my memory. I just don't feel like you get as much of the impact of the books if you spread them out like I have been. I started the Throne of Glass series a long time ago, but I absolutely love this book because so much that happened in Heir of Fire that I felt kind of confused about really got tied up in this book. There was so much character growth in this book, and in terms of like the love interest, I wasn't feeling it in the 3rd book, and I was kind of just like, I don't really see how I'm gonna be head over heels with this love interest like everyone seems to talk about once they finish the series. But after this book, I'm there. I am there. I just feel like these books are going to ruin just smutty romance for me because I love the complexity and just the world building and all of the challenges and everything that go on in these books. I've just found myself enjoying like feel-good romances and smutty romances less and less ever since I started this series. And I think it's because I want to be reading this series when I'm reading those things, and because there's just so much complexity and so much emotion in these that doesn't involve, you know, smut and romance, that it makes these just so much more powerful, and they leave so much more of an impact like on your soul and on your emotions. This has definitely been my favorite of the series so far. And just for like a quick little palette cleanser before I go into the tandem read, because I know that's gonna like consume me for the next couple of months probably, I'm reading Firefly Lane on my Kindle, which I got from Kindle Unlimited, and it's by Kristen Hanna, and I've read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, but no other books yet. So I'm reading this one right now, and I'm definitely like zooming through it, but I feel like I've been reading it for forever and I'm only 38% of the way in. But I really need to finish this book because I need to read We Used to Live Here in the next 6 days, and that's the book club book for this month. And I have book club next Tuesday, and today's Wednesday, so I really need to start and finish that one. So I'm probably gonna put a pause on Firefly Lane and jump into We Used to Live Here today. But I really don't want to do that because Firefly Lane has been good from like the first page. It's a historical fiction about like two best friends and their lives from when they grew up on the same street, and it takes you all the way through, I mean, like their post-grad life. And I believe it starts out in the 70s or 60s, I can't remember. And it's been really good and hard for me to put down. My friend Julia loves Kristen Hanna and said this book was really good. And then I also heard Lottie recently talk about it and read it and love it. So I am loving it, but really just had a lot of good reads recently. So wanted to catch y'all up on that because I haven't in a while. I took my breakfast outside on the patio to take advantage of the weather though, and also drink my coffee out there. And it's just so nice because I can like wear a sweater and not be sweating in it right now, which I love.
Press 2, which may be recorded or monitored.
Might as well just be a week in my life going to the doctor. I just got out of the OBGYN, and this appointment has literally been in the works for like 3 months. It took so long for me to get an appointment scheduled. My old OBGYN that I've gone to the last 2 years is no longer practicing. I was just going for like my annual pap smear and everything, and also because if you watch my reset videos, I actually don't feel like I talked about it in vlogs very much. I felt like or feel like I have PMDD, and I didn't like say that to the doctor. I just like was telling her, okay, for like a week and a half leading up to my period, I am just so in the dumps. I told her I'm just like really unmotivated. And granted, I'm a person who, despite how I feel, I'm very good at just like powering through and doing the things anyways, but that doesn't mean that those feelings don't exist. It's just that like last year I was so distracted by how much I had going on and how much work I had to do that I never had the time to like sit with how I feel. And I think this year, because I'm working for myself, I notice how I feel so much more because it's not as dire for me to, get work done like every single day and hammer stuff out like it was when I was working my job last year. So I have a lot more time to sit with my emotions and how I'm feeling. So I've noticed how much more terrible I feel. And last year it's like I noticed it, but I noticed it in the form of I was really emotional about things at work that wouldn't normally bother me and get really bothered by little things and just feel like I was in, like a hamster wheel and just get really down and depressed about just the state of my life in a way last year. Whereas this year it's like motivation's really low. I feel very hopeless and I feel like, what am I even doing like with my life? Like nothing matters, that kind of mindset. And it lasts anywhere from like 8 to 12 days, I would say. But then it's like the second that first day of my period is over, I'm completely fine. And I'm like, I have this whole new zest for life. So it's quite frustrating to have like such a large chunk of my month be impacted by how I'm feeling, and knowing it's because of just like the phase of my cycle I'm in, because it's a trend. It's not like something I noticed once and I was like, oh, it's this. It's something that I've noticed for a very long time, especially when I look in hindsight. But this year I noticed it in the moment for like 6 months in a row. So I was like, okay, I need to ask about this. So I just went and talked to the OBGYN about this, and honestly they were so great here. And she did prescribe me 10 milligrams of Prozac to take like the 2 weeks before my period. But I will say the older I've gotten, I've just kind of took on some health anxiety, which you could probably tell with everything I was talking about yesterday with going to the doctor and like my issues there, but also just being scared about taking like new medicines for the first time and like how they'll impact me, which I'm just like telling myself it's gonna be fine, because the second I start like going down that rabbit hole of the what ifs, it's just like I'm gonna psych myself out. So there's my health updates for you, and just a reminder to take care of your body and go to the doctor even if it's scary. I feel so proud of myself for going yesterday despite like how scared of potential bad news I was. I also feel so proud of myself for going today, even though like I don't normally get worked up over my annual OBGYN appointments. As someone who gets stressed out, they can be a little scary. off to Target to pick up my prescription, and I think I'm gonna grab some more coffee grounds while I'm there because I think we're almost out of our espresso. And I think I have everything I need for shooting content tonight for our little cozy fall night in, but there may be like a few little dollar section decor type things I get just to add to it. I'm wearing this Wrangler sweater that I got in my Nuuly. This is a medium, and then my Splits 59 pants because my airy ones are not clean that I normally wear. I still love these, but these are a lot tighter in the waist on me, so they can be uncomfortable after a long time, but otherwise they're comfortable if they actually fit you right. And then I've got on my New Balances and my little Princess Polly purse. Home from Target, and I did just get a couple things. I got the espresso, like I said, and it was on sale, so we love that. And some more of the Dove coconut and cocoa butter body wash that y'all know I love so much. Got some more toothpaste because I'm about out. I got this little black NYX Vivid Rich mechanical liner because I ran out of my Milk Makeup eyeliner that I like to use to tight line my eyes, and that's just like an essential step in my makeup routine, and I haven't had it the last couple times I've done my makeup. So I looked up the reviews on this one and they seem good, so I was like, let's just get a cheaper one for now. Random, but I picked up Benadryl because I realized the other day we don't have any Benadryl at our house, and I feel like it's nice to have on hand in case of an emergency for like allergic reactions or anything. I got some wild berry poppies since my Target carries them, which I'm so thankful for. I got 3 of the wild berry and I got 1 orange cream, and then I got my Prozac. So we're good to go there. But I honestly probably won't even start taking this till next week because we're going to the Texas-Georgia game this weekend, which will be really fun. My father-in-law went to Texas, and then Griffin grew up like a Texas fan before he was an Alabama fan from going to Alabama. So he's really excited, especially because it's going to be like a really good matchup and a really good game. It'll be my first time spending like a weekend in Austin because I've been to Austin several times, but it's been for work trips when I've just gone up for recruiting stuff and been there for like the day or just quickly overnight. So I'm really looking forward to that, and it'll be my first football game that's not Alabama and not in Tuscaloosa. So that's kind of exciting too, and it's a sold out game, so I know it's going to be just like crazy energy. Where was I even going with that? I'll probably be drinking Friday and Saturday, I imagine. I don't want to take it tomorrow because I actually did just find out I have my final interview for a mid-market firm for a tax role, which is exciting. It's for a senior tax role. It is my final interview, so looking forward to that being over with, but also just looking forward to it and hearing more about it. So I definitely want to prep for that either tonight or tomorrow because it's at 1 tomorrow, so I have some time tomorrow morning. With all that being said, I'm like 2 weeks out from my period, 13 days out right now, and I don't want to take it tomorrow because what if I have like a bad reaction to it or just adverse reaction, and then maybe I'm more anxious or something, and I have to do the interview. Don't want that to happen. And then I don't want to take it Friday and Saturday if I'm going to be drinking. So, because I know that that's like not good to take them together. At least I don't think it is. So we'll probably start it on Sunday or Monday and see how it goes. Finally in bed for the day. I'm so tired. It's been such a busy but productive day, but the evenings where I am filming things, I definitely like feel so much more tired, and I think it's just because I don't have my normal wind down routine. It feels really good to have gotten everything done. I know I didn't get a ton of footage from our like cozy night in, but it was really nice because we were able to like enjoy some time on the patio with Ella, and it felt like really nice and cool out while the soup was finishing cooking. And then we shot a couple of clips on the patio too while we sat out there with Ella. And then we came back inside, finished shooting things, and ate our dinner, which I made a really good chicken noodle soup with kale. Made it last year and it was really good too. So made that again, and then we actually split a grilled cheese because we both didn't really want a full one, but I put some apple slices on it. Just took it to the next level for fall. I'm probably gonna fall asleep so fast because I had alcohol, but I had a glass of Prosecco with apple cider in it, like a splash of apple cider, which is so good. I had that a couple years ago in the fall when we hosted people for a Halloween like get together, and such a fun little drink for fall. And I was drinking that because we were filming for that wine brand. It's Casillero del Diablo. Honestly, it's such great wine and it's really affordable, so highly recommend if you're looking for like a more affordable wine. So we got all of that taken care of, and it felt really good to get that filming done because it's due on Monday, but since tomorrow I have the interviews and we have to take Ella to my brother and sister-in-law's tomorrow night, which is like an hour drive, because they're gonna kindly watch Ella while we're in Austin this weekend, so we don't have to board her again since we just went out of town a few weekends ago. We have that going on tomorrow night, and then Friday we leave to go to Austin, so I'm really glad we got it done with because we're not gonna have to worry about it when we get back on Sunday. As much as I want to read Firefly Lane right now, I'm actually going to start the book club book for next week. This is the longest I've waited to start a book club book, but we'll get it done. I've been back on my orange juice and vanilla protein and ice protein smoothie game. Was just craving it, kind of wanted something lighter. I'm always switching things up between like my core recipes. I wore my Beyond Yoga set that I was gifted when I went to New York City for Fashion Week. We had an event with them and they like gave us all these sets. And it's so cute for fall. I love the back and the top. It's really just a super comfy set. Super soft to the touch, but not in like a lined buttery material way. And the brown is just perfect for fall. Taste testing the Trader Joe's cinnamon bun creamer. Completely forgot I had it in my fridge. It's pretty good. I mixed it with a tablespoon of pumpkin creamer because I'm just really in the pumpkin creamer kick right now. Maybe I should have tried it by itself today. I'm so tired today. I woke up when Griffin got up to go to the gym and everything, which she leaves pretty early, and I couldn't really fall back asleep. And then I finally did fall asleep, but when I woke up, my alarm had been going off for like 10 minutes and I didn't notice it, which is very out of character for me, but it's because I fell into like such a deep sleep right before the alarm. So it was just not fun waking up like right after I'd fallen into a deep sleep, so that made me feel super tired. I just finished up writing out questions, which I tend to ask basically like the same questions in these interviews, but this role is like the first time I'm interviewing for a role of this type. I really want to have a good idea of what the role entails and what it's like. I want to see if it's going to be doing provision work and compliance work, if it's just provision work, which is what I believe it is. But I'm interviewing with the senior manager and then right after that with another senior manager and the partner in charge of the group. So, and none of them are based in Houston, which is interesting. So it'll be interesting to hear if any of their provision team is in Houston at all, or if I would be the only one here. So I got all that prep because I didn't last night. I'm a little nervous, but I'm definitely like, I think kind of excited just to hear more about this one. I had completely forgotten that I had scheduled for an inspector to come out and test our room for like mold and everything after having the leak in our ceiling from Hurricane Beryl, which we didn't think there would be an issue, but it's kind of like we don't want to go through installing a new ceiling fan if we're gonna have to like rip out anything in the ceiling, you know, and get it replaced or whatever. So we wanted to do that first, and it's just something that we've been putting off, or I've been putting off, forgetting about every week, and we've just been out of town a lot and it's been busy. So I finally got that scheduled this week and he just left, so we won't know for like 2 to 3 days I think, but he thinks it's gonna be fine. It was freaking expensive. I didn't expect it to be like $400, but it's kind of like a peace of mind thing. Like that's not something I want to play with because it obviously impacts your health at the end of the day, and it's better to spend $400 now and know and then be able to catch it early on instead of, you know, later on and having to do like way more and us get sick or that kind of thing. So not fun to spend the money though. I have my final interview with the middle market firm for the provision role in 15 minutes, and I just went and dropped Ella off at my in-laws so she could be there with their dogs, because I think when I get really anxious right before interviews, I think a lot of it is honestly just me worrying if Ella's gonna be barking at me or not during the interview. Sometimes, especially like even if I walk her and wear her out right before, she just doesn't like when I'm on the phone and not talking to her and she can like hear other people. And even if I put AirPods in, she sometimes will just bark at me until I like put all my attention on her. And she hasn't always been that way. I think it's just something she acclimated to when I was working from home. So it's stressing me out not knowing how she's gonna act, because there's been times where I've done interviews and she hasn't even known I was on a phone call because she was passed out on the couch exhausted from our walk. And there's been times where I've literally walked her like a mile right before my interview and she's still barked at me. When I do them in the morning, I think she's usually fine, but if it's in the afternoon, it's just like too much of a toss-up and I just don't want to have to worry about it. I'm like literally so warmed up with interviews now at this point, so it's gonna be great. I'm gonna do great. I'm glad that it's the last interview for this company. Super exciting, but I'm gonna go throw on a button down and some different lip balm because I just have clear on right now, so it looks kind of funky, but it's gonna be 2 30-minute interviews, so I'll be done in an hour, and I'm just like so ready to come out on the other side of this right now. I just got this in PR. Is this not like the most perfect PR package for me? Because I freaking love the shower oil, and y'all know Olipop cream soda is literally my favorite flavor of all Olipops and Poppies. And this cute little reusable cup, and I've never tried this stuff, so I'm excited to try it, but thank you so much. This is like so fun. It is 6:15 and I just finished up editing my night routine, and it's not that long of a video and I filmed it forever ago. I filmed it back in August and completely forgot about the footage, so I worked on editing it this morning and I've kind of been slowly editing it this week, but I still think it's a really valuable video, and y'all know I'm such a routine person and like I value my routine so much, so I like to share as much of like my little habits and things that help as much as I can. So I want to share the video even though it's like really old footage and everything, and I did work really hard to film it and everything, so I didn't want to completely scrap it just because it's old. And the only thing that's like not the same in it now is the timing of everything is different because it gets dark earlier now. But I sent my follow-up emails after the interview, 3 hours probably after the interviews ended, like right around 4:45, because I know this firm, they're closing tomorrow, like, and they're just not working for like a recharge day for after the deadline that was this week. So I wanted to make sure I sent them and they like got them before the weekend and before they were all offline, especially because I have another standing offer that is expiring next Wednesday, which I'm meeting with people from the other firm that I did an in-person interview for on Tuesday, just meeting with some people my level to get a feel from them, like how they like everything, since I only interviewed with like higher up people in person. And I'm looking forward to that. I think it will be helpful in making my decision, getting to meet like some younger people on the team. The partner already emailed me from the firm that I interviewed with today and said he wants to discuss an offer on Monday. So that's really exciting because I guess that means I'm getting an offer. I don't know why he would say that if I wasn't. Exciting stuff. I'm feeling very blessed and very thankful to have 2 offers to consider at this point. It's definitely a little stressful making a decision and like figuring out where I want to be and I feel I'm meant to be. I'll probably talk a lot more about this in the next vlog. Having 2 offers is just crazy after interviewing for so many months. I definitely have like mixed feelings about going back to the corporate world, but I think for my long-term career goals and just for like where I'm at right now, it just makes the most sense. Us and for me and my mental health and my overall just long-term career goals. I'm gonna get Ella's food together and take her bed and kennel out to my car, and I'm gonna drive her to my brother's. Griffin had to impromptu drive to San Antonio today for work. He literally like found out when he got to work that he was gonna have to go and fill in for someone for meetings. So he isn't gonna be home for another like hour, and I'm just gonna go to my brother's and I'm gonna pick us up dinner as like a thank you for watching Ella and everything, and gonna eat over there and then head back. Happy Friday. It is 10:30, yeah. And I went to F45 this morning and it absolutely humbled the living mess out of me. It was so hard. I showered and washed my hair because I am going to straighten it, I think, for the game this weekend, because I just know that the humidity is not going to be bad in Austin, and it'll just be easier to do something with it, I guess. I'm wearing this denim dress that I got off of Depop, and it's super cute. It's definitely a little bit big in the waist on me, just like the way it fits, but it's not in a way where it looks ill-fitting. I'm gonna wear my boots with it. And I haven't mentioned this in this vlog, but I'm on the wait list for Eras tour for New Orleans. And I didn't go last year when she came to Houston. I really wanted to, but I didn't really have any friends that I knew who would like want to spend the money and go with me. And I just didn't want to go alone, but also because of our wedding and everything, I'm very hesitant to spend like a lot of money on certain things. Like when it comes to spending, I feel like I'll spend, you know, like $50 like 5 or 6 times really easily, but it is so hard for me to spend more than like $100 on one thing. I had to get very comfortable with doing that with wedding planning, but like concert tickets and stuff, I struggle so bad to like actually pull trigger on them. And also because last year when Taylor was in Houston, it was after I had paid like thousands of dollars in taxes, hadn't made any sponsorship money for 4 months. So I was just like, it's really financially irresponsible of me to spend $500 on a ticket right now, because I could have gotten them for $500. But just knowing the things that I was having to pay for the wedding and just paying taxes and stuff, I was like, it would just not be smart. Even though I had the money, I was just like, I can't get myself to do it. It ended up being like my biggest regret of last year, and now I'm like wishing I would have gone. But I'm on waitlist for New Orleans, and I saw that apparently Ticketmaster is doing silent drops, and I guess it's to the public. Like a lot of waitlist people are getting off, but there's also people who like were never on waitlist able to get tickets for the actual face value and not the crazy resale prices. So my best friend Logan, who lives in Atlanta, she
said she would go with me. So she's gonna meet me in NOLA next weekend if I get off wait list, and we're gonna go. I feel delusional for believing that I'm gonna get tickets, but I've been looking at a bunch of like statistics with like when the drops have statistically been, but right before shows, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like next Wednesday is the potential day that they're gonna drop for New Orleans. But just in case, I literally have like a reminder on my phone from like 6 p.m. to like 8:30 p.m. to just check Ticketmaster as much as possible over the next week. So fingers crossed, but let's do my hair.
I'm editing this video and I just realized I've never even ended it off formally or had an outro and just left y'all hanging after I blew out my hair. So I wanted to give a formal outro, but thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. And follow me on my social media link down below so you can keep up with me in real time, and definitely be sure to check out Typology down below as well. And thank you so much to them for sponsoring part of today's video, and I will see you all in my next vlog.